all. So here now is Utah Senator Mike Lee, a member of the Judiciary Committee. Senator, good to have you with us this evening. So when you saw this list, I doubt that you were shocked by the people who were on it, but what was your reaction?
I wasn't shocked by the people who were on it. I was, however, a little troubled by the idea that after, what's it been, 230 years in which we've had peaceful transitions of power between one administration and another, you've got what appears potentially to have been an effort by one administration to interfere with the next legitimately elected administration's ability to conduct foreign policy by threatening or at least investigating with an attempt perhaps to threaten. A violation of the Logan Act of all things. This is simply stunning.
You know, what always continues to surprise me when I look back at this is that they never went to the Trump leadership or to the president and said, look, we have these concerns. These are things that we came across during the transition. We'd like to just make sure that you're aware of it. Does that strike you as odd?
Absolutely. The fact that they didn't raise it with the leadership of the incoming Trump administration, that could support the proposition that maybe what they were trying to do was render less effective the incoming Trump administration. Maybe they didn't like what the incoming Trump administration might do because they were philosophically wired a little bit differently than they were. And this is part of what's so disappointing about all of it. You add to that the fact that Joe Biden then, when asked about it yesterday, said he didn't know anything about it, and then today gives an inexplicably weird answer about the fact that he had previously said he knew nothing about it.
So we understand a couple of senators have called for Rick Grinnell to testify. He's the acting DNI, acting director of national intelligence. But it's our understanding that that now is not going to happen. Do you know anything more about that?
I don't know anything more about Grinnell himself needing to testify. What I do know, Martha, is that this is going to bring about a very significant investigation. And there are going to have to be a lot of people answering a lot of questions, and there need to be an abundance of congressional hearings on this issue. This is really troubling stuff. The fact that you've got an outgoing administration threatening or perhaps contemplating criminal prosecution against the incoming administration's national security advisor is really disturbing. These have real consequences in the real world for real people, and I think they should be ashamed of themselves. We all owe a great debt of gratitude to Michael Flynn for his willingness to serve and for what he's endured as a result of it.
So in terms of what the changes might be, I mean, on the one hand, it sounds like you're talking about potential accountability and prosecution. I think a lot of Americans have watched so many of these scandals come and go, and they feel like no one ever actually gets in trouble for what they do. So that's one point. And the other point is that you could see reform in areas like FISA and what happened to Carter Page. So with regard to the A part of my question, what would you say to them?
Okay, as to part A of the question, dealing with prosecution, I'm in the legislative branch, not the executive branch. The decision whether to bring criminal charges against someone is an executive branch decision. As to part B, dealing with what needs to change in the law, absolutely we need change. Look, what we've seen is the most revered law enforcement institution in the entire world, the FBI, has been tarnished. Now, I hope, in fact, I strongly suspect that these are the actions of a small handful of rogue actors within the FBI. But we've got a big problem. We've got a problem that's now manifested itself several times in the last few years alone. And we're going to have some major structural reform over there to make sure that no one person is capable of abusing this much power.
Mike Lee, Senator, thank you very much. Good to have you here today.
Thank you very much.